I need to unmute my microphone. All right. So this is a Casboot, or not Casboots. This is All Dungeons. This is a VOD review for GMP. I am Sean. You can find me at twitch.tv/secretlysliver. Who am I? I am an NMG runner mainly. My PB is 125.48, good for 52nd on the current leaderboard. Um, and I also play rando. I'm just good enough at rando to make it out of groups and get eliminated in the first round of brackets of every tournament. It is what it is. But so I like the more basic modes, like casual boots, all dungeons. Sometimes throw some key sanity in there. So this is a mode that I really do like. So yeah. So your video is going to be right here. I'm going to have it at 2x. And it's going to be muted just to cut down on the length of the video, because if I don't watch it at 2x, there's going to be a whole bunch of like dead space and stuff. So, all right. So this seed is all dungeons, but it seems in your post you said something about forgetting that that was the case. That happens. Just remembering what mode you're playing is definitely a very good thing. Okay. So some people like to start at Sank, some people like to start Uncle. Honestly, it doesn't particularly matter. The only advantage of going to Uncle is that you may get a flute or a bottle and cut down on a cack trip, but realistically you're going to cack like 3 or 4 times in the seed no matter which items you get. Alright, so the lumberjack check. I personally don't like checking lumberjack unless you already start with a sword. So Aghanim for Dark World access is somewhere in the neighborhood of 25%. I don't remember exactly. But in Sword Assured modes, that gets bumped by 1.5 times, so it goes from 25 to 33%. That might be bad math, but anyway, it gets bumped from 25 to 33%. So if you start with a sword, then you might as well just go check Lumberjack, because you're probably clearing Aga 1 for Dark World anyway. But doing the immediate Lumberjack check, I don't really like, because there are different times that you can do it. Like, we'll try to find one during the video that's a better time to go check Lumberjack, but, alright. Bomb crowd, very nice. I would just pick that rupee up, honestly. You need 100 for the vendor, and you're not gonna lose by the second and a half that it takes you to grab that rupee. Okay. Yeah, definitely lay the bomb first. Like, as soon as you enter this room, you should be placing that bomb and then going and getting your chests. Okay, decent amount of stuff here in CAC. Oh, and a flute? Dang. Okay. Um, I'm pretty sure it's faster to go on the left side of that house, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So just do what you do. With boots, it's definitely faster because you don't have to wait for the guy. But if you're just walking, then it's probably neutral. Okay, so just a minor thing here. So when you get to here and you spy this item, this is where you want to play your flute, because walking all the way over here and then playing the flute just loses that tiny little bit of time. And if you have a bunch of those tiny little time losses in your run, then they'll add up to big time loss. So just a minor thing, you don't want to tread ground that you already have done. Okay. There's nothing wrong with this play because you're gonna do the dam anyway. Yeah, and with book in hand, I guess you're waiting for a glove to try and do desert with Agina. Okay, that's a fine play. All right, so there's your glove. Now what do we do? All right, it's all dungeons, so I'm not that concerned with crystals and pendants. All right, good call. Clearable dungeons, especially clearable crystals, are at the top of any priority lists. No matter what mode you play. Since this is all dungeons, I would say any clearable dungeon should be first on the priority list. But all right, bad luck. But I like the play. You need the big key for this. Oh, you're stealing the small key. Uh, I don't know how much I like this. Um, you're gonna have to come back here at some point anyway, and the small key has to be here. And now, if you want to reset this key, then you're not going to be able to do a Gina. Yeah. Okay. So I guess we're going to go to a Gina and try to hard reset there. Because if you don't hard reset this key, then you have to get the big key, and then you have to also go and get the big chest for the key. That's why I'm saying, yeah, okay. So you saved and quit, but that's fine. Just a minor optimization. Saves you like 3 rooms of traversal. Yeah, turn in the mushroom. So fetch quest items are, I believe, somewhere around 20% if they're in Sphere 1 uh to be required. And it goes down by half for every sphere that it's deep in logic. Except weirdly, if it's your cap sphere, if it's your final sphere of logic, then it goes back to like 10%. But okay. Yeah. So for me, you've got 8 hearts. Even though you're on green mail, you can clear Skull Woods here. So I would have just gone to Skull Woods, but I understand if you want to do this stuff, looking for health potions, etc. Like just make your life easier. But as long as you follow this play up with a village play, then I don't mind it. 'Cause realistically, you're not skipping any of these checks. So here, whenever you get a glove, the next time you save and quit the sanctuary, you should drop into back of escape 100% of the time. Uh, Back of escape is locked by only a glove. So, and it can very easily have something, and you have bombs, so it's not like you're out of bombs and you have to skip it, right? So, you also have a lamp and a fire rod. Either one of those would put Dark Cross in logic if the small key is in the back. Um, so yeah, I would have dropped into back of escape there, and then if there's a key, follow it to Dark Cross. Uh, but yeah, you also have a clearable Skullwoods, so go off. Okay, are you? Let's see if you. Okay, you're just going straight to Skull. I like it. Getting brave. I don't even mind doing front to back here. Um, so technically, it is more optimal to do back to front because you have to kill the boss anyway, and the boss might have an item, and if it does have an item, then you know you're only looking for one, and you know you're required to kill the boss. So, all right, bomb jumps. It seems like you know the pit setup, but seems like you know this pit setup. You're just not comfortable. You're trying to hit this pixel, which is difficult to do. So what I do, how I set up bomb jumps, is I overshoot onto the pit, but then release the sword. Like, see how Link, like, just kicks his feet for a little bit and then sticks to the edge of the pit? Or there, he doesn't even kick his feet. But there it did. There he kicked his feet. There he kicked his feet. When you're in the spin animation, you cannot fall. So as long as you're, like, I don't know, 1 or 2 pixels on top of the pit where you would normally fall, then the spin animation will save you and put you on the last piece of the pit here. It's a lot better than trying to tap and get in position for a regular, or it's better than trying to tap and hit a pixel. Just gives you a little more leeway, and it does take a bit of practice to get used to this, but it is extremely useful, and you can do this on any pit going any direction. And just to prove that, I'm gonna bomb jump here, and then I'm gonna go back. Yeah, and back to my previous point, it is slightly more optimal to go back to front here because you're following this up with a Village of Outcasts play, I assume. So you can look for fewer items, and then you can also get spit out of the front because once you do the back of Skullwoods here, you either have to save and quit and go do something else, or you have to run through the entire dungeon again. Okay. So you're kind of flailing a little bit. This is definitely a room that a bunch of people, including myself, struggle with a lot. This is what it should look like. Okay, now how do you do that? Well, your first plan is always walk up and slash the berries. You will always have a sword here, because especially if you're clearing, you'll always have a sword here. So just walk up and slash the berries. Sometimes the left one gets away from you a little bit, and you only slash one. In that case, you just want to take the pot and kill the one on the right. You really do not want those guys getting in your way. So, alright. Walk up, slash the berries. Now, you want to keep these prizes on the screen. See the 5 arrows and the heart? You want to keep those prizes on the screen because that actually puts so many sprites on the screen that if the wall master appears, if the hand appears, then it'll sprite overload your SNES. So what that does is it stops the hand from spawning at all. So that actually helps you to keep a prize on the screen here. Slap these. And then you don't want to drag this statue down too much. Just enough so that when you get up to here, you can sneak behind it. Now, the collision physics between mummies and this statue are what make this room real terrible and bad, and why people really hate this room. But people lose a whole bunch of time in this room. Like, I've seen people lose 20, 30, 40, up to like a minute in this room, just flailing around, so yeah, just put that on your practice list. Just drag that down just the slightest, just enough so that you can get behind it. And then when you're pushing it, you want to be holding diagonals, because that makes you push the statue faster, just slightly. If you don't want to push the diagonals, then you don't have to. You can just do something like this, but it is a bit faster to push diagonals, with the added bonus of if that mummy turns upwards, then you can just slide out of his way. So definitely put that on your practice list so that you don't have to be worried about fire rotting a million enemies here, or dealing with a hand. That's really just the sum of the parts in this room is just terrible. Right. Let me actually just time how long that room took you. Okay, so you enter at 1701. And let's see when you get done with this. $17:39. So yeah, you took 38 seconds in that room, and as you saw, it's like 13, 14, 15, 16 at the worst. If you know the right way to do the room. Not. Do you not realize that you have a fire rod here? Not sure why this play is happening. Especially because you just filled your magic. I thought you were just gonna go do moth. So yeah, like going and doing moth at that time was probably better. But if you wanted to clear village to look for health, then you probably should have just done that first. There's also let's see if you go over there, but there's in the east portion here, there's a house that has 2 hammer pegs in front of it. Inside that house is a shop that sells red potions, and you have a bunch of money, but no bottle. So anyway, yeah, yeah, I definitely would have killed Moth there. If you're afraid of dying, then that's fine. Knowing your limits can actually save you a lot of time. rather than bashing your head against a moth that you're just gonna die to a million times. So, but like, but my point is like, if you don't kill moth right then you have to traverse back through the dungeon. Oh, this may be here. Let me bring up Discord actually. Oh shoot. Okay, you forgot it was all dungeons as you were in Skullwoods. Okay, ignore my rambling in the last few minutes. Okay, yeah. I mean, it seems obvious, but remembering what mode you're playing is very crucial. Um, Especially like I have a tendency to forget stuff like, oh, this is inverted, so my flute only works in the dark world. Like very simple stuff like that. Okay. So if you go to the big chest, if you have to go to the big chest, it's actually faster to just like go up this conveyor and get to this room this way. Because it's only one room versus even if you have boots here, you have to do this whole extra room and then you have to pick up the brick. So that's kind of slow. So just take the conveyor. If you're worried about jellies, you can just sword beam them. It's not a huge deal. Or hook shot them, or just slash them, I guess, if you're... Well, you have a fire rod. You can just fire rod them. Okay. Alright, let's just watch the whole blind fight. Okay, you seem to have a good handle on that. Just one small thing on the blind fight. So you actually have enough time to get your sword out and charged. Like, you have a bunch of time here. So there's not really a reason to slash your sword and back up like this, because this is much slower getting blinds into the light. It's not that much slower. It's like 548 there versus 556. So it's only about 10 frames slower, but it's a free 10 frames. All you have to do is just not slash your sword in the previous room. You would also lose a sword slash in the previous room. That's like 20 something frames. So we're talking all said and done, we're talking less than a second, but again, you can save that for free by just not slashing your sword, or by slashing your sword at the right time. Might have just been a space out there, but you always want to catch crystals and pendants when they fall. It's just faster. You don't want them to bounce. Okay, going back to skull. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna forget stuff, and I wouldn't think too hard about it, honestly. Just whenever you're playing something, just, have a little note about the mode that you're playing, even if it's just like keeping your stream title on your screen or something, so that you remember which mode it is. I was not paying attention to how many items you got in here. Okay, so you have one left. That's the correct call. Go straight to the boss because that's what you have to do. Okay. That mummy hellway strat is fine because you don't have boots. There's no reason to try and get fancy with it. Okay. I'm not going to nitpick that too much. That seemed like a pretty good kill. The only thing I would do differently is on the first spin, you want to be above Moth because she cannot shoot her beams down. So it's slightly safer to be above Moth, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, Ice Rock Cave, fantastic. You did another save and quit to Sank and did not drop into back of escape. You definitely always need to have that on your mind. In open modes, in Kaz boots, it matters less, but okay, are we skipping the man under the bridge? Okay, I mean, that's probably not a decision I would make, but I do tend to overclear a lot, so it looks like it's gonna work because you're about to get mitts. All right, where do we go from here? Back to 8. Oh, we're going to Ice Palace? Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, a lot of people would take those mitts up the mountain, um, because I don't believe that you've been up there yet, and oh, because you can't do anything there. Okay, fantastic. Ignore me. Sorry, the tracker's a little small and blurry on my screen. I need to clean my monitor. Okay, that's a unique way of doing the room that I haven't seen. It shouldn't be slower to do it that way because of fast ROM, but it's definitely not the traditional way to do it. IPBJ. Okay. Okay. So this is another place that this spin setup is going to save you because when you were setting up, you're trying to like tap onto this pixel, which I'm gonna say it's difficult, but I mean, I just did it, so um, but yeah, if you just keep your sword charged, then spin when you're about to fall, then you'll be pretty good. All right, so here you're gonna hear me talk about nerd stuff for a little bit, and it's probably a little too in depth, especially for an NT, but I like people to learn this anyway. So for Ice Palace Bomb Jump, there if you hold a direct left out of the door, there are two pixels that the game will put you on. Pixel 30 and Pixel 31. What do those look like? Well, 31 is the one that you got on your successful bomb jump attempt. See, my shadow is fully covering the light pixels on this little alligator tooth. Whereas if I'm on pixel 30, you'll see two of the light pixels underneath Link's shadow. Um, Always use your shadow for lineups because the shadow is static between sprites. So if you ever change sprites, then all of your lineups won't go away. Anyway, So yeah, this 30 pixel is the pixel that you were on before, and this has a 1 pixel window to successfully bomb jump, and I can't get on it for some reason, but this right here is the pixel that you want. So what I'm looking for here is that the light pixels down left of Link's shadow are a Tetris block, one of those Z or S blocks. I can't really think of which at the moment, but yeah, it makes a little thing. You can use whatever visual cue you want, just as long as it's this pixel. So I would say this 30 pixel here is probably the one that you're going to land on most often. Mostly because when you switch from right to left, like you see, I pressed the up button there. That wasn't on purpose, but that will put you on a different pixel. This is also lined up against the wall, so if you want to normalize where Link is every single time, you can just bump your head against the wall, and then you know what pixel you're on. The downside to this is that it is only a 1 pixel window to get onto this spot. Now, can also go 1 pixel below the wall onto the 31 pixel. That is this pixel. This is the pixel that you will be on every time that you exit this door. It will spit you out on the 31 pixel. You'll only get on the 30 pixel if you nudge up or nudge against the wall. So for the 31 pixel, if you have this lineup, then there are 2 pixels that work. There is this same lineup here from before with the Tetris block. And then sorry, I'm trying to select buffer this 1 frame movement. Okay. That's why it wasn't working. All right. So anyway, 31 pixel. You can be on this pixel or one below it, which is this pixel. So I always try to make sure that I'm on this 31, just to make sure I have a bigger window. But all right, again, probably too in depth, but those are 2 lineups that you can pretty easily use for Ice Palace Bomb Jump, and also this spin setup will save your life. Okay. So these guys actually die. So these guys actually die to bombs. Give myself some bombs here. So if you just do something like this, you just kill them all. How do you do that? Well, cancel stair drag. And then place the bombs there. You just place them 2 lines down from the staircase and then 2 lines below that. and then you just dash turn to the wall and bonk over the Spangator, and it'll kill all of them every single time. Okay. You're preserving health, which is good, but if you just tank one heart of damage on that big spike and then you use your iframes to phase through it, then you'll save. I think it's like 2 seconds over waiting for it to reset its position. Yeah, little bit of a flub on situational awareness there. I think you might have thought you had a hook shot and you didn't, but that's fine. You'll have those. You'll just have to go back for it at some point. Probably right here. Oh, okay. Um, got to pick up bombs somewhere or leave the big chest. Very nice bomb jump. Um, I think. Okay, there are bombs there. Nice. So for the spike room, I'm pretty sure if you activate the switch, then it's not still active when you come back down. Yeah. So you just had to pick that pot up twice. Again, it's a tiny thing, but putting those tiny things together can save you a good bit of time. Looked like you tried to stair clip there. It's a neat little trick, but uh, if you don't 100% know what you're doing without boots, then it's not going to work. Yeah. A little bit of bad luck there, but doesn't seem to phase you at all. Alright. Bolt stair. Okay. Good fight. No notes. Um, Cold Stare with Master Fighter Sword is it's an exercise in survival. You just have to play the don't die game. Oh no. Eastern. Or just Saha. Oh, did you pick up a green pendant and it's not marked on your tracker? I don't know if you have a green pendant or not. Alright, let me just check Skullwoods here and see what prize you got from it. Okay, that was a blue pendant. Thieves was red pendant. Alright, fantastic. Back to Saha. All right, what are we getting out of here? I don't mind putting off this check for this long because you never really had a great time to go for it. I may even put it off further in favor of something like Meyer area at this point. Okay, I've got a bottle, so straight to sick kid. Very good. Okay, now what? Smith chain. Okay. I don't love Smith chain here. You don't like mirrorless Smith chain is never a feel good moment, but it can definitely just have your mirror be there. This is definitely a decision that not many people are gonna make. So if you spike an item here, you can feel pretty comfortable that you're probably ahead. I would have probably gone to Mire area instead of doing this, but that's just me. It's the same sphere of logic. It's just this takes so much longer for fewer items. Like even if you can open Mire right now, you can't get in. You don't have boots or hook shot. So like even if you have the medallion, it doesn't really hurt you all that much. Okay, now you're going, which is fine. Except that you have an isolated check on purple chest here. So your goal is always going to be to never isolate checks, especially in all dungeons when you don't really know what you need at any given point. Well, that's not true. When you need everything, you should probably clear more than not. Okay, we're finally going to back of escape. Okay, no key, so save quits. Yeah, doing man under the bridge. Okay, so you already skipped this check. I would just commit to skipping it until you get a mirror. And then you go to pod. Yeah, okay, so there's your mirror. Okay. I don't like going back to Mire area here necessarily, because you were already there. Yes, you just opened up a check, but you also just opened a whole ton of checks on the mountain and a clearable dungeon. So I would just go straight there. Okay. Oh, nice boots. Um, that's not great because those have been in Logic for a while, but it's also not great because oh wow, okay, we got a hover. Um, I might have just taken a couple enemies to the face there to get a death warp instead of yeah, because now you have to just wait for those fireballs instead of and that's kind of slow. Plus, if you get I think you have blue mail, so you're fine if you get Moldorm once, but if you get hit twice here, then you're donezo. You have to do this all again. Alright. Ended up being fine, though. Yeah, okay, I like that death warp. Alright, going up here the old-fashioned way. You'll see some people Oh, okay. So you can actually bomb jump this. I mean, unless you're trying to keep your bombs for some reason, there is, Bangzoo. So there's an easy bomb jump that you can do here. And just get over this hole. It's the same setup as in Skullwoods. Just if you fail it, you don't take damage and you go to a lower floor. It just saves you 2 room transitions to do the bomb jump. Okay, I'm not convinced that doing this way is faster. But I see a lot of people do it. Um, Especially because this is all dungeons. Just doing the light world stuff and then bomb jumping over and opening the TR portal is I'm fairly sure it's faster to do it that way. Yep. Because it's all dungeons, you need to open the TR portal at some point anyway, and then like you save the extra room in Super Bunny Cave. Uh, and then you save 2 mirror transitions also. All right. Oh, right. This is powder. Okay. Yep. Definitely go get that. Okay. I definitely would have cleaned up Spike Cave there because it is fully in logic. And now it's isolated also. Like, you can't even pair that with Turtle Rock because. Also, you have all 3 pendants, so I probably would have just gone and pulled the pedestal before this, but it is also kind of slow to get there. Okay. It's actually not faster to dash in that room. So, come here. So, we're just gonna time some stuff. 754. 751 versus 804. Try it again. Trying to be optimal here, but yeah. So this is slower and it's more difficult to execute because you have to get right up against the pot. So just stair cancel, go diagonal, and walk this, and then dash over. Again, tiny little 10-frame time save, but okay, that maneuver also doesn't save time. because you're so I'm walking sword out for this whole time, and then I also need to do a spin animation. So so all you do is just walk over here, push the statue, and go down the stairs. You see a lot of people do that spin because it looks swaggy, but it just burns a bunch of time. You can bonk open that hole. You don't need to bomb it, just like that one. I do like the pod play here because you just got the bow, um, and then you can pair it with Eastern also. And the bow was in logic because you just got the boots as well. Okay. So this is probably a decision I would only make if I was one from go, but you need 3 items, so you might as well just full clear pod because you're likely gonna have to do it. You're like overwhelmingly likely gonna have to do it anyway. Unless if for some reason you feel behind and you think like, oh, my opponent got the boots in the first like 15 minutes or whatever, and you miss them and you feel behind because of that, then okay. Bombing Helma is also not faster. You just hammer him. Let's see how long that fight took. So you enter here, 115. And pick up the item at 147. So that's what, 32 seconds? Let's see what I can do with Master Sword here. I watch Gamma a good bit, and I know he's alright, yeah, 30, 40. That's a second and a half faster with a worse sword. I watch Gamma a good bit, and he likes that 2-bomb strat, but it only has the potential to save up to about a second, and that's only if you perfectly get the first cycle on bombs. You're not always going to get the Helm RNG that you need. It's going to save you more time in the long run to just use the hammer. Plus, it'll save you resources as well. Okay, so you're coming back in for the backup pod. Which, again, was expected. But if you're gonna make that play again, I would just skip the backup pod entirely, mirror do Eastern, because you have an outside shot of all 3 of your go mode items just being in Eastern. And then if it's not there, you just portal back and do the backup pod anyway. That said, I would have just done backup pod before doing Helma, so. Alright. Do Eastern. So slashing the sword and ledge hopping there is is not faster, but if you turn to the left and ledge hop without slashing the sword, it is. Slashing the sword just locks you into an animation. Alright, we're Samaria go now. And we've got an entire rest of Eastern and Swamp Palace to get it. Okay. So good pot strat. But there is a strat that if you come in here and you already have the bow, if you come in here and you already have the bow, you can go to here. I use the little diamond tile as my visual cue, and you just get Link's shadow to line up with about the middle of it. And you just go 1, 2, 3, out of the room. So that turns the room into 449 versus the NMG strat, which you did, which is 638. So that saves 2 seconds by using the bow there. Okay, quite honestly, you have a lot of green boxes on here, and like, I don't really think there's a wrong decision that you can make here. Just basically, as long as you clear your dungeons here and you don't really bother much with overworld, like, do the stuff you have to do first, which in this case is all dungeons, so. And then for the optional stuff, you can just get that later. Okay, I'm not going to go through Zelda Gamer Room. Just as long as you get through it, then whatever you do is fine. I thought we were done over here. Okay, yeah, I would definitely be going straight to Swamp Palace here, rather than bothering with the purple chest at the moment, because like you're taking a decent chunk of time to do this overworld stuff, and it could just all be nothing. And Swamp Palace could also all be nothing, but you're not forced to invest the time into the overworld check, where you are forced to invest at least a little bit of time into Swamp to get to the boss to get to the back. If you want to skip left side at this point, I'm all for it, but like you at least have to do Swamp Palace up to the boss, so like you are hard required to do that, so you might as well just go do it. And your item could just be right there. Okay. Hook shotting to that chest is actually just slightly slower than using the boots, so you just have to. And then for that room, uh, Okay, so here, all you want to do is you want to get out of this door before you do a diagonal, because this is a bastard door. So if I press down, I'm gonna go left. If I press down left, I'm only gonna go left. So you want to just diagonal to here and then take this dash line, because this dash line is a lot longer than this one. Plus, you don't have a fireball in your way. So, yeah. Then you just walk down the stairs and do Specky Clip. Alright. See how we sequence this. You're one from go, you know you're one from go. Honestly, I would probably just get aggressive here. I probably wouldn't even do that walk around chest. I would just go straight to the back and go to the boss. Like, get these chests, get the waterfall chest. But yeah, the wraparound chest just isn't on my radar at this point, because if Samaria is not back here, I'm coming back in for left side, no matter what I find back here, or no matter how many items are left. You may not plan to do that, and in that case, it's up to you whether you think the wraparound is worth it or not. But yeah, I would at least make an attempt to be aggressive. Okay, good fight. Definitely know your boss fights, which is a big step above some of the mentees that are going to be in this tournament. Okay, what do we got? Big Bomb. Yeah, again, I don't hate skipping left side swamp here. I personally would probably not do it, but yeah, if you're gonna skip it, you gotta commit like this. And honestly, looking for Samaria, you've got worse options than just opening Mire and getting the 2 items and the big key, because you have to find the big key for Mire anyway, and you need to clear desert. Plus there's 1 item in desert that we know about, and it might just be your Samaria. Oh, okay. So this is a lot of checks, but it's kind of slow. Okay. Well, that's not exactly a place you wanted to find that, unfortunately, but yeah, good call. Yeah, I'd probably just go into Mire first, because you have to find the big key anyway. Just grab the 2 items out of here, go finish desert, and then, yeah, escape's probably just your best option after that. All right, well, we'll just watch the rest of your go mode here. So anyway, my route would have been slower than yours, but it would have, but it pays off more if Samaria is just inside of Misery Mire, because in my experience, people don't like to enter Mire without already having the Cane of Samaria. So you actually only need to slash once on that dash. I'm just gonna guess that was an oops. But yeah, you don't need to get in that door. All right, bad luck, but I like the route. Okay. I actually prefer in this last room. I actually like going over here better. Only because these wizrobes are gonna spawn here and they're gonna shoot at you and stuff. So bad stuff can happen. Nice spooky. Okay, it definitely looks like you don't know this fight as well as you probably should. Um, all right, so I'm just gonna show this fight. I'm not gonna explain it. So this is the safe way to do the fight. You just take damage off the goo, slash stuff. There, I just did it in 17 and a half seconds. And, um, yeah, using your invincibility items is all well and good, but you can definitely make that fight faster by just not using them at all. You also took potion lag because you took too much damage. So I would definitely look at. I will probably include a YouTube video link with the Vidi fight on it that goes into a little more depth, but I don't want to go in depth on it right now. Yeah, you're in go mode. So, oh, that's right. You needed to get the key because you burned it before. All right, never mind. An unfortunate miss there, but good fight. Okay, yeah, you have a pretty full menu at this point, so don't be afraid to just do the start menu so that you're not flailing around in your quick swapping like that. It may be slightly slower than what you just did, but what the start menu is going to do is make sure that you're on the right item every single time. Kind of, yeah, squirrels suck. Getting the spin speed off those stairs doesn't actually save time. Oh, that's swaggy. Probably better to just walk up and do the thing, but yeah, that's funny. Okay, I'm not gonna nitpick that room. That room kind of sucks. Alright. Very good. Okay. You definitely want to learn how to double spin pokies, because from the time that the fire rod shot makes contact, then it takes 2 seconds to burn any enemy, and that's slow. We don't want to go slow. Yeah, definitely look into this room too. So you are not at full health right now. So, what you would need to do here, dash into this, burst a block, go onto the flaps for invincibility, and then burst your second block. If you do it fast enough, then you get to skip the roller. Just like that. If you have sword beams, all you have to do is just beam the switch. Like that. Good job skipping laser bridge. I love it. A lot of newer players, you'll see them just do laser bridge, try to find silvers. Yeah, Trinox on fast roam is impossible. Okay, good fight. Just if you want something to play around with in practice, so you can actually just run behind Trinex, and then this is safer and slightly faster to do this way. So just something to think about. You definitely don't have to learn backdoor Trinex, and you can definitely get good times without it, but something to play around with. Okay, love it. It's too many DMers nowadays. Hope right is the way to go. Good. Probably should have checked your stun price sooner than that, but it's fine. There is technically a faster way to do that room. Okay. Okay, so I'm not going to nitpick the hook shotting, but what I am going to nitpick here is hitting this switch. If your big key is in this room here, then you're done. You're just going to mirror out, so you would have taken this switch lag for nothing. So, and then when you come out, you need to walk right past the switch anyway, so you can just slash it on the way past. Like, always enter this room first and don't hit the switch until you know you need to go down here. Out of this door, you need to be holding down right, and you need to go down right, like a pixel. Yeah, I'm not a fan of red boom strats and GT. By which I mean you should do them, but I'm not very good at them, so I don't really have any advice on how to get better. Pretty easy to see how you won this by 5 minutes. You seem to know your stuff pretty well. Okay. Ice Armor's just kind of, is terrible as a fight, but no, that means it's tile room rip. All right, Ice Armos is just kind of terrible as a general rule, but so what you should do: 3 up, 2 left, 1 up, hesitate, and then just kill the rest of them. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 10. Easy fight. Okay, yeah, if you really wanted that fairy, then that's fine. Otherwise, you just kind of need to stand in the door, and then the bunny beam can't hit you. Actually, with tempered sword, you can just stand in the door and charge spins, and just wait for the last cycle of the thing. But what you do want to do in tile room is let the last tile hit you, and then you can skip the last hand cycle. So we're gonna give me the cape here. So if you're not powdering this bunny beam, you can just wait it out. And then, yeah, the cape thing is really good. Just hold the wall here until the last tile pops up, and then you either place a Samaria block or you just let it hit you. I mean, you're on, what, 15, 16? You're on 16 hearts and red mail, so you can just kind of let it hit you. It's not a huge deal. And then just to be efficient, we're not going to turn the cape off, ever. We're either, if you're doing it like you are now, see how I skipped the hand cycle and let the chest. Anyway, so if you're doing it where you are right now and you know you're going to mirror out, just quick swap straight from the cape to the mirror, because your quick swapping is turned off whenever you're poofing in a cape animation. But if you just quick swap to the mirror, it'll turn it off for you. And then, yeah, that's all I have on that room. All right, to climb. Okay. So you're going for the swag strat when you should just use your bow. Let's see how long mimic clipping took. So you enter at 08. And you exit at 38. So that room takes you 30 seconds. And it took me 7. You could probably do with taking out a bit of the swag strats. I know you're having fun, but when you're in a race, you don't want to be bleeding 20 seconds like that. But hey, if they're fun for you, then don't let me ruin it. All right, so definitely look into some of the normalizing strats for that room. This is the one that I prefer. There's also an older strat that is a bit slower, but still safe. Just go down here, dash up here. Messed it up. Go over here, dash up, and then dash down. That should skip them all. So that one's a bit slower than the first one, but it doesn't use arrows, so if you're a little low on arrows, you might want to use the old one. Very good. Yeah. So you're probably just doing this for magic, which is fine. I don't think you're ultimately going to end up needing to fill your magic here. Unless you just want it for fire rod spam, in which case I guess that was worth it. All right. I would definitely learn strats that do not require the fire rod though. Yeah, especially if you're gonna do Samaria Land Mode 2. Like there wasn't really a reason to get the full magic there. Eh, I respect the attempt. Hovering Moldorm 2 does save a good bit of time. But if you fail it once, I would definitely just kill the Moldorm and hookshot across. Which it looks like you just tried it an extra time, which is fine. Oh, yeah, sometimes you get bullied. It is what it is. Dang, he really does not like you. Yeah, might as well. So, Agate 2 has, and this is another topic I can go on about for like 2 hours, but certain patterns on Agate 2 are slash patterns, and certain ones are spin patterns. It really just takes getting familiar with the boss to figure out which are which. Um, but defaulting to all spins is going to get you in that awkward spot that you were in a few times, so definitely something to work on. But to be fair, a lot of people can get better at Agate 2. Nice key dash. Probably worth it to just use arrows for that room, just because the fire rod is just slow as a weapon goes. Plus, you're not getting silvers, so It doesn't really matter about how many arrows you use at this point. Nice attempts. Unfortunate that it didn't work. All right, just overall, you seem to have a good plan for all of the rooms. Um, Even if some of them are a little fancier than I would like. Okay, yeah, this is a decent thing to work on too. You whether you have silvers or not, you really do want to get the 1-in-1 on the first couple phases of Ganon. Because like it just absolutely bleeds seconds to not get the 1-in-1. Like you probably lost like 15 seconds or so. Yeah, and try not to hold your sword out toward Ganon like that, because if you stab him, then he's gonna put your sword away. Okay. I'm not gonna blame you for not going for top patterns, because it's kind of icky, to be honest. Alright. GG. Uh yeah, so overall positive. Definitely have a plan for each room. Uh I know we were watching on double speed, but it doesn't seem like you had any huge execution errors. Like you weren't bonking everywhere, or there were a few times where you took the wrong path through the room, but that just comes from watching people and having people VOD review you, so that's pretty easily fixable. Um, Negatives, you maybe tone down the swag a little bit. Uh, it's all well and good that you know how to mimic clip and how to hover and stuff, but you're gonna end up losing races because you're being too swaggy. Um, Also have a bit of differing opinions on routing and stuff, but overall it looked solid. You seem to know what you were doing at all times. You seem to at least have some sort of justification for what you're doing, which is definitely a huge thing. I think you're going to do really well in this tournament.